In the churning void before creation's dawn, a colossal shadow stirs beneath the primordial waves, a dragon of unfathomable fury, Rahab, the chaos serpent of the deep. As God's thunderous voice splits the heavens, Rahab rises, its scales like shattered obsidian, eyes blazing with the fires of rebellion, coiling around the nascent world in a bid to swallow light itself. But divine wrath descends like a cosmic hammer. Will the Creator shatter the beast, or will chaos reign eternal? Dive into this biblical epic where gods battle monsters, and the fate of existence hangs by a thread. Long before the world had sunrises or birds singing, everything was dark and empty. There was no land, no sky, just a huge, swirling mess called the deep. The Bible calls it Tehom, a wild, endless ocean of shadows and power. In that darkness, something huge began to wake up. Its name was Rahab. Rahab was not a normal animal. It was a giant sea monster, a dragon made of pure chaos. Its body was as long as many rivers put together. Its scales looked like black broken glass that sparkled in the gloom. Its eyes burned like red fire, full of anger and wild energy. Huge coils twisted and turned, strong enough to wrap around the whole world 7 times if it wanted. Fins like sharp mountains stuck out from its back, and when it opened its mouth, it could swallow storms. Rahab was born from the wild power that existed before God started making order. It loved confusion. It hated rules. It wanted everything to stay messy forever, no light, no life, just endless crashing waves and darkness. Then God spoke. His voice was like thunder that shook the empty space. Let there be light. And light exploded into the darkness like a giant sunrise. The void started to change. God separated light from dark. He made the sky above and the waters below. He was building a beautiful world step by step. But Rahab did not like this. It hated the light. It hated the idea of order. With a terrible roar that made the deep tremble, Rahab rose up. Its massive body burst through the waves like an earthquake underwater. Coils whipped around, sending huge splashes high into the new sky. It tried to drown the light. It tried to pull everything back into chaos. The waters boiled and spun into giant whirlpools. Thunder cracked. Darkness fought back against the new creation. God looked at Rahab and saw its rebellion. This monster was strong, but God was stronger. He would not let chaos win. He had a plan for the world, plants, animals, people, and peace. Rahab was part of the old wildness, and it had to be stopped. The battle was about to begin. The Creator against the dragon of the deep. One wanted a good, ordered world full of life. The other wanted only endless night and destruction. In that moment, the whole future hung in the balance. Would light win? Or would Rahab drag everything back into the void? The prophets of old would later write about this fight in the Bible. They said God crushed Rahab's pride with his mighty power, Isaiah 51 verse 9. But that great clash started right here, in the very beginning, when chaos tried to fight the light. And so the story of Rahab truly begins, not as a friend of creation, but as its greatest enemy from the deep. The battle exploded across the newborn world. Rahab, the giant sea dragon, thrashed wildly in the deep waters. Its huge coils whipped like giant ropes, sending waves crashing higher than mountains. Dark clouds rolled in, thick and angry. Lightning flashed, and thunder boomed like war drums. Rahab roared so loud it shook the empty sky. It wanted to pull everything back into darkness and chaos. No more light. No more order. Just endless storm. But God was ready. He appeared as a mighty warrior king. His voice cut through the noise like a sharp sword. The Bible says in Isaiah 51 verse 9 that God cut Rahab in pieces and wounded the dragon. He came down with power no one could match. In one hand he held a blazing sword made of pure light. In the other, He raised a thunderbolt that crackled with fire. Rahab charged first. It lifted its massive head out of the waves. Water poured off its black scales like waterfalls. Its red eyes glowed with hate. It opened its jaws wide, big enough to swallow ships, and lunged at the light. Its sharp teeth snapped. Its claws raked the air. The sea boiled around it, turning red and wild. God did not back away. He struck first. His thunderbolt slammed down like a hammer from heaven. It hit Rahab right in the side. The dragon screamed, a sound like 1,000 storms breaking at once. Sparks flew. Scales cracked and flew off like broken glass. Rahab twisted in pain, but it fought back. Its tail smashed against the new sky, trying to tear it apart. Huge waves rose up, trying to drown the light. God swung his sword next. The blade shone brighter than the sun. It sliced through the air and cut deep into Rahab's neck. Blood like dark ink spilled into the water, turning the whole ocean red for a moment. Rahab's roar turned into a painful cry. Its body jerked and coiled tighter, but it was getting weaker. The fight raged on. Lightning struck again and again. Each hit broke more of Rahab's pride. The dragon's coil started to slow. Its fire eyes dimmed. God stood tall, unbreakable. He spoke words of power, enough. The sea began to calm, just a little. The storm cloud started to part. Rays of golden light broke through. Finally, with one last mighty blow, God crushed Rahab's strength. The dragon fell back into the deep. Its huge body sank slowly, still twitching. Pieces of its scales and bones settled on the ocean floor. Some say those broken pieces became hidden reefs and sharp rocks that sailors fear even today. The waters grew quieter. The sky cleared. God had won. Chaos was beaten, for now. But small bits of Rahab's wild power still hid in the deep, waiting for storms or evil kings to call them back. The world could keep growing. Plants could rise. Animals could run. People could live. All because God fought and won the great clash. Rahab was beaten, but it did not disappear completely. Its huge body sank deep into the ocean floor like a fallen mountain. Broken pieces of its scales and bones became sharp rocks and hidden reefs beneath the waves. Sailors in small boats still hit those rocks today and whisper scary stories about a monster that sleeps below. Even though God won the big fight, small bits of Rahab's wild power stayed in the world. The Bible talks about this in different places. In Job 26:12, it says God shattered Rahab, and, by his power he stilled the sea. In Isaiah 51 verse 9, prophets remember how God cut the dragon in pieces long ago. They use Rahab's name as a symbol for anything big and evil that tries to fight God, like powerful kings or nations that act proudly and cruelly. One big example is Egypt. The Bible calls Egypt Rahab who sits still, in Isaiah 30 verse 7. Egypt was like Rahab, strong, scary, and full of pride. When Pharaoh chased the Israelites to the Red Sea, it felt like Rahab rising again to swallow God's people. But God split the waters, let his people walk through on dry ground, and then closed the sea on the Egyptian army. Just like he crushed the dragon in the beginning, he crushed Egypt's power. Stories spread among people. Fishermen told tales of giant shadows moving under their boats. Travelers spoke of storms that came out of nowhere, as if Rahab's anger still stirred the deep. Prophets used these stories to teach important lessons. God is stronger than any monster or king. No matter how big the problem looks, God can defeat it. Years later, a young man named Eli lived by the sea. He loved hearing the old stories from his grandfather. One night, a terrible storm hit his village. Waves crashed high, wind howled, and boats were in danger. Eli remembered the tales of Rahab. He felt afraid, but he prayed to God. "You beat the dragon long ago," he said. Please calm this storm now. Slowly, the wind died down. The waves grew smaller. The sea became peaceful again. Eli knew it was not magic. It was God showing his power once more. The echoes of Rahab reminded everyone that chaos can still try to rise, but God is always in control. He turns broken pieces of evil into something that helps the world, like how sunken reefs create homes for fish and protect shores from bigger waves. Rahab's fall left marks on the earth, but those marks also proved God's victory. The deep stayed mostly quiet, waiting for the day when God would make everything perfect forever. Until then, people learned to trust him when storms came, because the same God who defeated the dragon long ago is still watching over them. Many years passed after Rahab sank into the deep. The world grew full of people, cities, laughter, and sometimes sadness. But in the last days, when God's perfect plan comes to its end, something scary happens again. The Bible hints at this in places like Revelation and the Old Prophets. Evil grows strong once more. Darkness tries to cover everything. And deep below the oceans, Rahab stirs. Its broken body, long quiet, begins to move. Scales that turned into rocks crack and shift. The sea shakes. Giant waves rise higher than ever before. Rahab wakes up, not weak, but angry and huge again. It wants one last fight. It wants to destroy the new world God is making. Rahab rises from the abyss like a nightmare coming true. Its red eyes burn brighter than fire. Its coils whip the water into giant whirlpools. It roars so loud that mountains tremble. Dark clouds gather. Storms rage. Evil forces join it, bad kings, lying powers, and shadows that hate light. Together they challenge God and his people. But God is not surprised. He has waited for this moment. In the sky, light explodes brighter than 1,000 suns. Angels blow trumpets that sound like victory. God appears again as the mighty warrior king. This time, he is not alone, his son stands with him, shining with power and love. They come to end chaos forever. The final battle begins. Rahab charges with all its strength. It smashes waves against the heavens. It tries to pull the stars down. But God speaks one word, enough. His voice shakes the whole universe. Angels rush forward like lightning. Swords of light cut through the dark. God raises his hand. A huge beam of pure power shoots down. It hits Rahab right in the heart. The dragon screams one last time, a sound that echoes across time. Its body twists and cracks. Scales fall like black rain into the sea. Its coils unravel. Its fire eyes go dark. With one final strike, God crushes Rahab completely. No pieces are left to hide. No echoes remain in the deep. The monster that started as chaos is gone forever. Then something amazing happens. God takes what was left of Rahab, its wild energy, and turns it into something good. The broken power becomes part of a brand new creation. The oceans become calm and clear. Flowers bloom on the water's edge. The whole world shines with peace. No more storms that scare people. No more monsters in the dark. The faithful people watch from safe shores. They see God win completely. They sing songs of joy. They know that every fear, every big problem, every Rahab in life has been defeated. Chaos is finished. Order and love win forever. God's plan is complete. And so the story of Rahab ends, not with fear, but with hope. The same God who beat the dragon in the beginning beats every darkness in the end. Rahab's story begins in darkness and ends in brilliant light. From the very start, this mighty sea dragon tried to fight against God's plan. It roared with chaos, stirred up storms, and even rose again in the last days to challenge everything good. But every time, God showed his power. He crushed Rahab in the beginning. He turned its echoes into lessons for people facing their own storms. And in the end, he defeated it forever, taking the last bits of its wild energy and turning them into peace, beauty, and a perfect new world. The Bible teaches us through Rahab that no problem is too big for God, not giant monsters, not scary storms, not evil kings, not even the darkness inside our hearts. God is stronger than any chaos. He brings order, hope, and love every time. When we feel afraid or overwhelmed, we can remember. The same God who cut Rahab in pieces long ago is still watching over us today. One day, all fear will be gone, and we will live in a world with no more monsters, no more tears, just joy forever. Rahab's tale is a reminder for us to trust God in the storms, because victory is already his. Share the victory, keep the story alive. If Rahab's epic battle inspired you, don't keep it to yourself. Share this story with a friend, family member, or classmate who loves exciting Bible adventures. Tell someone, God beats every monster. Want to read the full tale? Comment below, which part was your favorite, the big fight, the echoes in real life, or the happy ending?